His goal was to help give the monks another source of revenue, but now with cattle being killed and butchered here on his land.
In a world where humans form deep bonds with animals, the line between companion and predator can sometimes blur. From loyal dogs to exotic wild creatures, pets have been part of our lives for centuries, offering love, protection, and companionship.
Says the sheriff's department is now trying to figure out how this all happened.
But what happens when these bonds are shattered by an animal's primal instincts? In this chilling collection, we dive into 15 shocking and tragic cases where pets turned on their owners, leaving a trail of destruction and disbelief. Join us as we unravel the stories of those who face the unimaginable consequences of trusting the wrong creature. The tragic death of Vance Garner. A horrifying mystery in Oregon, 2012. In 2012, a chilling incident took place on a farm in rural Oregon that would send shockwaves through the community. Vance Garner, a 69-year-old farmer with a reputation for his deep affection for animals, especially pigs, was discovered dead in his hog enclosure. Known for his dedication to farming and the animals he raised, Garner was a familiar and respected figure in the area. He had spent most of his life working with livestock, and his bond with his pigs was well known among locals. On the day of his death, Garner entered the pen to tend to his pigs, a task he had done countless times before. However, something went horribly wrong. He never emerged from the pen. Later, his remains were found by a family member, partially consumed by the very pigs he had raised. The discovery was both horrifying and perplexing, leaving those who knew him struggling to understand how such a tragedy could unfold. The cause of Garner's death remained uncertain, sparking speculation about what might have happened. Some believe that he may have suffered a sudden medical event, such as a heart attack or stroke, while inside the pen. The possibility of a medical emergency could explain why Garner collapsed and was unable to escape. His vulnerability in that moment might have made him an easy target for his pigs, who are known to be large, powerful animals with a natural scavenging instinct. At over several hundred pounds, pigs can be surprisingly aggressive, particularly if they feel threatened or disoriented. Investigators speculated that Garner, weakened by a heart attack or stroke, may have been knocked over by one of the animals, leading to the pigs acting on their primal instincts. Such behavior, though unsettling, is not unheard of, especially in stressful or chaotic circumstances. The pigs might have attacked or consumed him out of sheer instinct. While authorities have not definitively determined the cause of death, they are leaning towards two possible explanations: a sudden medical event or an animal attack. Given the unusual nature of the situation, law enforcement is cautious, keeping all options open, including the possibility of foul play. The tragic death of annwalz and her pet black bear, Teddy, 2009. In 2009, a heartbreaking and terrifying incident unfolded in rural Pennsylvania when annwalz, a woman known for her deep connection with exotic animals, tragically lost her life to her pet black bear, Teddy. Walls had raised Teddy from a cub, believing that the bond she had with the animal would keep her safe. However, this tragedy would serve as a stark reminder of the unpredictable and dangerous nature of even captive wild animals. On the day of the attack, Walls was performing her routine task of cleaning Teddy's cage, a task she had done many times before. With her children and a neighbor nearby, everything seemed normal. Walls had cared for several exotic animals over the years, with Teddy being one of her most beloved. Despite his size and wild instincts, she believed that her bond with him would prevent any aggression. But in an instant, Teddy, likely acting on an unpredictable impulse, attacked. The bear pinned Walls to the ground with overwhelming force. Despite frantic attempts by her children and the neighbor to distract Teddy and pull him off, the bear's sheer power proved insurmountable. In a desperate bid to save her, the neighbor shot the bear, but tragically, it was too late. annwalz succumbed to the attack, leaving behind a stunned community. Sandra, piovesan, and her wolf dogs. A tragic turn in 2006. In 2006, the quiet community of Pennsylvania was shocked by the tragic death of Sandra piovesan, a devoted animal lover known for her profound bond with a pack of wolf-dog hybrids. These unique animals, part wild wolf and part domestic dog, were a testament to her dedication to bridging the gap between humans and wild creatures. Over the years, piovesan had raised and cared for a pack of 9 wolf dogs, creatures that were visually striking, with the sleek, powerful features of wolves and the domesticated instincts of dogs. She believed that with enough care and close contact, these wild hybrids could be integrated into her life in a way that respected both their nature and her role as their caretaker. Piovesan was deeply involved in the lives of her wolf dogs, spending countless hours ensuring their well-being and even viewing them as family. Her neighbors and friends often admired the strong connection she had with these animals, praising her ability to work closely with creatures that many others would consider dangerous. However, despite her experience and belief in her bond with them, the unpredictable nature of these hybrids would prove fatal. On that fateful day in 2006, while piovesan was tending to her wolf dogs as part of her usual routine, something went horribly wrong. One of the animals suddenly turned on her in a brutal, unexpected attack. The power and strength of the wolf dog, combined with its wild instincts, proved overwhelming. By the time authorities arrived, there was little they could do except contain the animals. Tragically, piovesan's trust in the hybrids that she had raised with such care was tragically misplaced, leading to her untimely death. Marius and his Hippo Humphrey. A tragic end to an unconventional bond. 2011. In 2011, a shocking and tragic event unfolded in South Africa, shedding light on the dangers of human-wildlife relationships. Marius, a South African farmer, had developed an extraordinary and unconventional bond with a hippo named Humphrey. Els had raised the 1,000-pound animal from infancy in 2006, and despite the inherent dangers of such an undertaking, he referred to Humphrey as a son. Their unusual relationship drew both fascination and concern from around the world, as Els appeared to defy the natural instincts of one of Africa's most dangerous animals. Hippos, despite their somewhat docile appearance, are among the deadliest creatures on the planet, responsible for approximately 500 human fatalities every year in Africa. Known for their territorial nature, immense size, and surprising aggression, hippos are often more dangerous than many of Africa's famous predators, including lions. Yet Els, who had spent years with Humphrey, seemed to believe he had succeeded in taming the massive creature. He allowed Humphrey to roam freely on his property and often swam alongside him, engaging in close physical contact. Els dismissed warnings from wildlife experts who cautioned him about the unpredictable and violent nature of hippos, especially in their adult years. However, in 2011, the unthinkable happened. Humphrey, whose behavior had always been unpredictable, suddenly turned on Els. In a brutal and tragic attack, the hippo dragged him into a nearby river, where Els was later found dead. The authorities found clear signs of a hippo attack, confirming what many experts had feared. Despite being raised in captivity, Humphrey's wild instincts were always present and ultimately too powerful to control. This devastating incident served as a stark reminder of the dangers of attempting to domesticate wild animals, especially those with such a formidable reputation for aggression. Els' death was a painful illustration of how wild instincts, no matter how tamed an animal may seem, can never be fully suppressed, especially in a creature as powerful and unpredictable as a hippo. Charlie Nash and Travis the chimpanzee. A horrific attack and its aftermath. 2009. In 2009, a horrific incident in Stamford, Connecticut, shocked the world and underscored the dangers of keeping wild animals as pets. Charlie Nash, a 55-year-old woman, experienced a life-altering tragedy when she was violently attacked by Travis, a chimpanzee who had been raised in a human home by his owner, Sandra. Travis was well known in the community, often seen riding in cars, participating in local television commercials, and seemingly living a comfortable life alongside humans. Despite his outwardly calm demeanor, there were increasing signs of aggression as Travis grew older. Signs that, in hindsight, many experts attributed to his frustration from living in isolation without other chimpanzees and the limitations of human socialization. On the day of the attack, Nash arrived at Harold's home to help contain Travis, after the chimpanzee had escaped from the house. What followed was a terrifying and brutal attack. Travis, in a violent outburst, turned on Nash, severely mauling her face and hands with an intensity that left her permanently disfigured. The violence of the attack was so extreme that it drew immediate public attention, with the media widely covering the gruesome event. The aftermath of the incident ignited a public debate over the safety and ethics of keeping highly intelligent wild animals as pets. Nash underwent numerous surgeries in the wake of the attack, enduring a grueling recovery process. Despite the trauma she endured, she bravely shared her story with the public, offering a first-hand account of the dramatic physical and emotional changes she had experienced. Her story not only highlighted the devastating effects of the attack, but also sparked important conversations about the dangers of owning primates and the morality of keeping such unpredictable animals in domestic environments. The incident led to calls for stricter laws and regulations regarding exotic pet ownership, urging a reconsideration of the risks involved in keeping such intelligent wild creatures in captivity. Pam Weaver and her pet camel, a tragic death in 2007. In 2007, Pam Weaver, a farmer's wife from Australia, tragically lost her life in a horrifying accident involving her pet camel. The incident highlighted the hidden dangers of keeping large, powerful animals, particularly when their behavior shifts unexpectedly. Weaver, who had a deep affection for animals, received the young male camel as a 60th birthday gift. Initially, the camel, like many camels raised for tourism or transport, appeared gentle and manageable. However, as the camel matured, his behavior began to change, growing increasingly erratic and dominant. Though camels are often seen as calm and temperamental, particularly when raised in captivity, male camels, especially those that are not neutered, can become unpredictable and aggressive, particularly during their mating season. On the day of the tragedy, the young camel's behavior took a dangerous turn. In a display of dominance, which is common among male camels, he knocked Weaver to the ground and attempted to mount her. The sheer force and weight of the animal were overwhelming. Tragically, she suffocated beneath him before help could arrive. Her death, which occurred on her own farm, shocked her family, friends, and the local community. It raised awareness about the hidden risks associated with keeping large, unneutered animals as pets, particularly camels, whose behavior can turn aggressive once they reach maturity. This tragic event sparked a broader conversation on the potential dangers of domesticated camels and the need for caution in raising such unpredictable creatures. Mark Vogel and his fatal obsession with exotic pets, 2004. In 2004, the tragic death of 30-year-old Mark Vogel in Dortmund, Germany, cast a chilling spotlight on the dangers of keeping venomous and potentially lethal exotic pets. Vogel was known for his deep passion for reptiles, arachnids, and other dangerous creatures, transforming his apartment into a miniature menagerie. The walls were lined with tanks and enclosures filled with venomous snakes, scorpions, and tarantulas. However, Vogel's prized possession was his black widow spider, one of the most dangerous arachnids on the planet, known for its potent venom and lethal bite. Vogel's fascination with these creatures was not limited to mere collection. He was deeply involved in their care and handling, often interacting with them as though they were his beloved pets. However, the very animals he had spent years nurturing ultimately led to his demise. Investigators concluded that Vogel had been bitten by the black widow spider, triggering a severe venomous reaction that left him paralyzed and unable to seek help. Immobilized and unable to defend himself, Vogel's other pets, snakes, lizards, and scorpions, began to scavenge his body, unaware of the bond between them and their owner. When authorities finally entered Vogel's apartment, they were confronted with a nightmarish scene. His body had been ravaged by the very creatures he had kept in his home, creating a grotesque tableau that shocked even experienced responders. The tragic incident sparked widespread debate on the ethics and safety of keeping venomous and wild animals in private residences. Experts began to emphasize the inherent risks involved in keeping such creatures in domestic environments, calling for stronger regulations to protect both the animals and their owners. Vogel's death served as a grim reminder of the fine line between admiration for dangerous animals and the unpredictable consequences of living alongside them. Dan Brandon and his fatal encounter with his python, 2017. In 2017, the tragic death of 31-year-old Dan Brandon in Hampshire, UK, highlighted the hidden dangers of keeping large constrictor snakes as pets. Brandon, a devoted reptile enthusiast, had a special bond with his 8-foot-long reticulated python named Tiny. Over the years, the snake had become more than just a pet to Brandon. She was a constant companion, and he often shared their close relationship on social media, where he posted images of himself handling Tiny and showcasing his passion for reptiles. Known for his deep affection for snakes, Brandon was well liked among friends and family, who admired his dedication to his unusual pets. However, this close relationship with a powerful wild animal came with significant risks that would ultimately prove fatal. Reticulated pythons, though often docile in captivity, are naturally constrictors that can pose a danger if mishandled. On the day of the incident, Brandon was found unresponsive in his room with Tiny nearby. An investigation revealed that he had likely been asphyxiated by the snake's constriction. It was speculated that Tiny had coiled around Brandon's chest and neck, either out of affection or due to accidental triggering of the snake's instinctual behavior. In the wild, pythons constrict their prey to subdue them, and this same behavior can unintentionally be provoked by improper handling. The coroner confirmed that the cause of death was asphyxiation, likely from Tiny's constriction. Ronald Howe and his fatal encounter with monitor lizards, 2002. In 2002, 42-year-old Ronald Howe from Newark, Delaware, met a tragic and horrifying end in the company of his beloved pet monitor lizards. Known for his deep fascination with reptiles, Howe had spent years collecting these exotic and sometimes dangerous creatures, including several large monitor lizards. Monitor lizards are carnivorous, with powerful limbs, sharp teeth, and territorial instincts that can make them unpredictable. Howe, however, had developed a close bond with his reptiles, believing that his care and attention had tamed them and ensured their loyalty. His fascination with these predators was well known among friends and family, who often marveled at the impressive collection he kept in his home. Sadly, his devotion to these animals would lead to his demise. When Howe failed to check in with family members for several days, his mother grew concerned and contacted authorities. Upon entering his home, officers were met with a grisly scene. Howe's lifeless body lay among his monitor lizards, which were freely roaming the room. Some of the reptiles had begun to scavenge his body, an instinctual reaction that is common among carnivorous animals in the wild when faced with a deceased animal. The investigation later revealed that Howe had likely suffered a medical episode, possibly a heart attack, which incapacitated him and left him vulnerable to his pets. The monitor lizards, driven by hunger and their primal instincts, attacked him in his weakened state. This horrifying event underscored the dangers of keeping large, carnivorous reptiles as pets, emphasizing that even the most domesticated exotic animals retain powerful survival instincts that can be triggered in unexpected circumstances. Andrew Overley and the Chimpanzee Attack, 2012, South Africa. In 2012, Andrew Overley, a dedicated primatologist and graduate student, found himself caught in a harrowing and life-threatening encounter with 2 adult chimpanzees at a sanctuary in South Africa. Overley, deeply passionate about his research on primate behavior, had traveled to the Jane Goodall Institute's Chimpanzee Eden Sanctuary, where he studied chimpanzees and their social interactions. The sanctuary, known for its conservation efforts and work with rescued chimpanzees, offered Overley a rare opportunity to observe these intelligent creatures in a controlled environment. However, during a routine observation, Overley made a fatal mistake. He crossed an inner fence that was meant to separate humans from the chimpanzees, unaware of the imminent danger. The fence, while designed to protect both humans and chimps, was no barrier to Overley's curiosity and enthusiasm for his work. As he entered the restricted area, the 2 male chimpanzees, both full-grown and territorial, immediately turned on him. Their reaction was swift and terrifying. In an instant, the 2 chimps attacked, dragging Overley under the main fence and into their enclosure. The assault was brutal and relentless. The chimpanzees, known for their strength, speed, and incredible grip, inflicted severe damage. Overley lost several fingers, a foot, and sustained multiple deep facial injuries as the primates showed no sign of letting up. Despite the agony, Overly's survival instincts kicked in. He fought desperately, but the strength of the chimps and their predatory behavior were overwhelming. The attack lasted for several harrowing minutes. Finally, sanctuary staff, hearing the commotion, rushed to intervene. They managed to pry the chimps off Overly, pulling him to safety. Emergency responders airlifted him to a nearby hospital, where he underwent a series of surgeries. His recovery was prolonged and grueling, as he struggled not only with his physical injuries, but with the emotional trauma of the attack. Al Simon and his pet bull. 2003, Minnesota. In 2003, tragedy struck the farm of Al Simon, a seasoned livestock farmer from Minnesota, when a routine encounter with his pet bull turned fatal. Simon, who had spent decades working with animals and had a deep understanding of their behavior, had raised the bull from a young age. He was accustomed to the challenges of handling large, powerful animals and prided himself on the bond he had cultivated with this particular bull. Despite his expertise, Simon's tragic fate underscores the unpredictable and sometimes perilous nature of working with livestock, particularly animals like bulls, whose instincts can quickly overwhelm even the most experienced handlers. On the day of the incident, Simon entered the bull's enclosure, likely thinking it was just another ordinary task. Bulls, even those raised in close proximity to humans, retain strong territorial instincts, particularly when they reach full maturity. Simon's bull, which weighed over a ton, was no exception. As Simon moved within the enclosure, the bull became suddenly agitated, perhaps reacting to the disturbance of Simon's presence or perceiving a threat. Bulls are notorious for their territoriality and dominance, and once they sense even a slight disturbance, their aggressive instincts can quickly take over. The bull, in an explosive display of strength and power, charged at Simon with remarkable speed and force. Bulls, particularly when threatened or when trying to assert their dominance, can strike with devastating impact. They possess massive neck and shoulder muscles designed for power, which allow them to hit with enough force to cause serious injury or even death. Simon, despite his familiarity with the bull, was no match for its raw power. The attack left him with catastrophic injuries. In farming communities, bulls are respected for their immense strength and often unpredictable behavior, even with handlers they know well. Their instincts to protect their territory and assert dominance are ingrained, making them highly dangerous, particularly when they feel threatened. Simon's death served as a harsh reminder of the risks farmers face when working with large, unpredictable animals. Even the most experienced farmers must respect the inherent volatility of livestock, particularly bulls, whose powerful strikes can be fatal when combined with their territorial and dominance instincts. Ruth Hodge and her pack of dogs. 2013, Pennsylvania. In 2013, a tragic and heart-wrenching event unfolded in Pennsylvania when Ruth Hodge, a woman deeply devoted to her animals, was killed by her own pack of dogs. Hodge had raised a number of dogs, including several pit bull mixes, and had formed strong emotional bonds with them over the years. Despite the affection she had for her pets, Ruth had become increasingly concerned about their behavior. Over time, she observed signs of rising aggression, both among the dogs and towards her, leaving her with a growing sense of unease. While she loved her dogs and found it difficult to consider rehoming them, she began to fear the potential dangers of managing a pack of powerful, dominant animals. Dogs, especially large breeds like pit bulls, are known for their strong territorial instincts, and these instincts can become more pronounced when they are kept in groups. Packs, especially when not properly socialized or managed, can turn volatile. Hodge had likely noticed some of these behaviors, but felt that, with her bond to them, she could control or manage the dogs. However, managing a pack, particularly one with dominant dogs, requires a great deal of expertise and constant supervision. On the day of the incident, Ruth entered the area where her dogs were kept, possibly to address a conflict or assert her authority over one of the animals. The exact trigger for the attack remains unclear, but it's likely that a minor altercation or action escalated rapidly. Once one dog exhibited aggression, the rest of the pack, driven by their natural pack mentality, likely joined in. Packs of dogs, particularly those that have not been adequately trained or socialized, can exhibit a mob mentality, where aggression quickly spreads from one animal to others. The territorial instincts of the pack can override their connection to their owner, leading to the tragic outcome. Once the aggression began, Ruth's familiarity with the dogs offered little protection. In fact, her bond with them may have been irrelevant when the primal instinctual behavior of the pack took over. The dogs, now united in aggression, attacked her fatally, and help arrived too late to save her. This devastating incident shines a light on the inherent risks of keeping a large, dominant pack of dogs, especially breeds known for their strength and protective instincts. A.J. Merrick and his Bengal tiger, 2003 Illinois. In 2003, tragedy struck in Illinois when A.J. Merrick, a passionate big cat enthusiast, was killed by his pet Bengal tiger. Merrick, who had raised the tiger from a young age, was deeply fascinated by the power and beauty of these majestic animals. He had formed a strong bond with the tiger, treating it almost like a family member, and was known for his hands-on approach to caring for his exotic pet. Despite his familiarity with the animal, Merrick, like many exotic pet owners, failed to fully understand the inherent dangers of keeping such a powerful and unpredictable wild animal in captivity. Bengal tigers, even when raised in controlled environments, retain their wild instincts that can be triggered by something as simple as a change in routine or a perceived threat. In Merrick's case, he ignored essential safety protocols that professionals recommend when handling big cats, assuming that his bond with the tiger would prevent any aggressive behavior. On the day of the incident, Merrick entered the tiger's enclosure for what he likely thought would be a routine feeding. However, something went terribly wrong. In an instant, the tiger, which weighed up to 500 pounds and possessed immense strength, turned on him. Using its powerful muscles and sharp claws, the tiger quickly overpowered Merrick, fatally injuring him before anyone could intervene. The tragedy served as a stark reminder of the dangers of keeping such animals as pets. Regardless of how close the bond may be between an owner and a big cat, the animal's wild nature remains a constant threat. This incident sparked widespread debates about the ethics and safety of owning exotic animals, particularly big cats. Bobby Hodge and his wolves, 2004, Texas. In 2004, Bobby Hodge, a passionate wildlife enthusiast from Texas, tragically lost his life due to an unexpected attack by his pet wolves. Hodge had long been captivated by the mystique of wolves, viewing them as noble, misunderstood creatures of the wild. Over the years, he had dedicated himself to raising a small pack in captivity, establishing a personal sanctuary where he hoped to foster a closer relationship between humans and wolves. He saw his mission as one of education, seeking to dispel the myths surrounding these powerful predators and prove that they could coexist peacefully with humans. However, his deep commitment to the wolves ultimately blinded him to the natural dangers of keeping such wild animals, especially those with strong pack instincts. Despite his good intentions, Hodge underestimated the volatility of the animals he cared for. Wolves, even those raised in captivity, retain their primal instincts, which are dictated by highly complex social structures and strong territorial behaviors. These instincts can quickly be triggered, particularly when there are changes in the pack dynamics or when an outsider, such as a human, tries to assume a role in the pack. On the day of the fatal incident, Hodge entered the wolves' enclosure as part of his usual routine, perhaps unaware that the animal's internal balance had shifted. The wolves, possibly sensing a disruption in their social order or reacting to stress, suddenly turned on him. The pack mentality of wolves is not to be underestimated. Their social cohesion, when disturbed, can result in extreme aggression, even towards a familiar caretaker. The wolves likely saw Hodge as either a threat or an outsider to their established hierarchy. Tragically, this attack left Hodge fatally injured, emphasizing the inherent dangers in interacting too closely with animals that retain wild instincts. This heartbreaking incident serves as a stark reminder of the risks associated with handling wild animals, especially those as powerful and unpredictable as wolves. It also highlighted the importance of understanding animal behavior, particularly the intricacies of pack dynamics and territoriality, to ensure that such risks are minimized. Siegfried and Roy's tiger attack, 2003, Las Vegas. On October 3rd, 2003, one of the most iconic performances in Las Vegas history took a tragic and unexpected turn when Roy Horn, half of the famous Siegfried and Roy magic duo, was attacked by a 7-year-old white tiger named Montecore. Known worldwide for their dazzling illusions and daring performances, Siegfried Fischbacher and Roy Horn had built a legendary career around their deep bond with exotic animals, especially big cats. Their show, which had been a staple of Las Vegas entertainment for over 3 decades, was a thrilling spectacle that combined magic with wild animal performances, captivating audiences with the seamless harmony between human and beast. To fans and critics alike, Siegfried and Roy's act was a testament to the extraordinary rapport they had cultivated with these magnificent creatures. However, that fateful night in 2003 shattered the illusion of control they had so carefully crafted. As Roy performed alongside Montecore, the tiger, known for his striking white fur and typically calm demeanor, suddenly veered off script. What was intended to be a graceful interaction turned into a life-threatening ordeal. In a split second, Montecore grabbed Roy by the neck, dragging him off stage with incredible force. The tiger, weighing in at over 400 pounds, displayed an overwhelming display of strength that Roy could not match. As Montecore pulled him across the stage, Siegfried and the stage handlers rushed to intervene, but the damage had already been done. Roy was left with severe injuries, including a stroke, which only compounded the trauma he had suffered during the attack. Emergency responders quickly transported Roy to a nearby hospital, where medical teams worked tirelessly to stabilize him. Although Roy survived, the attack left him with permanent injuries that affected his speech, mobility, and overall health, effectively ending his career as a performer. The once celebrated duo's show was indefinitely suspended, leaving a void in the Las Vegas entertainment scene. Fans around the world were left in shock and disbelief, as many had grown up watching Siegfried and Roy's enchanting G performances with big cats. The aftermath sparked a fierce debate within the entertainment industry, animal rights groups, and the public. Animal advocates questioned the ethics of using wild animals in such performances, pointing out the inherent risks posed by unpredictable creatures even when they had been raised in captivity. Some speculated that Roy's recent health issues, including a stroke, may have triggered Montecore's unusual behavior, while Siegfried later suggested that the tiger may have been trying to protect Roy, noting that the animal had not fully bitten down during the attack. The incident marked a significant turning point in the use of animals in entertainment. Many venues and circuses re-evaluated their policies on wild animal performances, with several organizations pushing for stricter regulations and animal safety measures. The shift also reached Hollywood, where the use of CGI animals in film became more popular than ever, as public sentiment moved away from using live, potentially dangerous animals on set. Ultimately, the Siegfried and Roy attack not only brought a tragic end to one of the most famous acts in Las Vegas history, but also catalyzed a broader conversation about the ethical treatment of wild animals in entertainment, a conversation that continues to resonate today.